Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be listing off all of my favorite perfumes in my collection that have cherry notes. I'm a huge sucker for cherry anything. This is one of my favorite notes. I find it so deep and dark and sultry and yet so sweet and yummy. And not only do these cherry scents that I'm about to show have cherry notes within them, but the cherry notes in every single one of the scents I'm going to show you today is very much present, and you can smell that note throughout the entire duration of you wearing that perfume. It's one thing when a perfume has a certain note that you like, and it's a totally different other story when it actually smells like that note heavily. For whatever reason, a lot of the times cherry notes are super short-lived in fragrances, and I'm really not sure why that happens, because I would get it if it was like a airy, aquatic, light, fresh kind of scent and it just got lost within all the other scents. But I feel as though cherry is such a strong scent, and you would think that it would just hold its own super well without getting eaten up by all the other notes. And yet oftentimes it does. And I don't think I'm the only one with that complaint, because I feel like a lot of people complain about cherry scents. Not that the scent itself is not long lasting, but specifically the note of cherry in that perfume. Maybe you can smell it within the first initial spray, but whether that cherry is in the top or the base notes, it just disappears after like 5 minutes. I'm really not sure what the deal is with that. I truly don't understand it, but regardless, in this video, each and every one of the scents that I'm going to share with you have cherry notes in them that are actually present throughout the entire wear time of the fragrance. I have a top 8 here. I am actually so disappointed that I only have 8 fragrances, whether it's body mists or perfumes, that have cherry notes. Considering this is one of my favorites, I thought I would have more, but I digress. With all that being said, before we get into it, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. I'm gonna organize this video from least expensive to most expensive, and we're gonna start with the 2 least expensive scents that I have in this entire video, those being 2 body mists. Let's start with Sunset Glow. This will forever be one of my favorites from Bath & Body Works. This scent oftentimes has been said to be a dupe for Cheirosa 62 by Sol de Janeiro, and I would totally have to agree. That scent is strongly in here. It's like that sweet, gourmandy pistachio, but that has this tropical vacation-y feel, almost like a coconut scent. And I'm mentioning all of that, and you're probably like, okay, well, where's the cherry and all of that? Because I'm pretty sure Cheirosa 62 doesn't have a cherry note, and it doesn't. But this one does. So it's literally as if you took Cheirosa 62 and you added cherry notes in it, but like bombarded it with cherry notes, because the cherry in here, not only does it start out super vibrant and juicy, but it stays throughout the entire duration of you wearing this scent. It's constantly there, and yet it's just mixed in with all of those creamy, delicious sweet notes. This one has fresh coconut, sparkling cherry seltzer, dreamy moonflowered, and caramelized vanilla. This scent is super sexy to me, and I would say if you are a fan of Cheirosa 62 but you want a little difference to it, and you're also a fan of cherries, I don't see how you can go wrong with this scent. I am honestly pretty regretful having not bought backups of this scent when it was out, because it has now been discontinued, and it's one of my all-time favorites. So highly recommend Sunset Glow. And then the last body mist, which is a recent find that you guys have been hearing me rave about, is Sweetheart Cherry. I fell to the floor when I heard that this scent was gonna be out at Bath & Body Works. I ran to my Bath & Body Works. Not only does this scent have cherry, but it also has another one of my favorite notes that I've recently been really obsessed with, which is pistachio. So this one is more of a nutty sort of cherry scent. It has sort of a gourmand feel. It almost gives me like warm pistachio cherry pie. This has notes of wild cherry, crushed pistachio, and whipped vanilla. The cherry in this is prevalent throughout the entire scent. It's so vibrant and juicy and sweet, and when that pistachio kind of comes in as it dries down, it gets a little bit nuttier and just more gourmand feeling. So this is a delicious cherry scent. Very great layering scent. And what I will mention, these 2 mists that I'm talking about here pair really great with each and every one of the perfumes that I'm about to mention next, because they all have cherries, so they kind of bring that out in one another. and it is chef's kiss. You can mix and match literally any one of the scents that I'm going to talk about today, and they all work. Starting off with one of the most inexpensive cherry perfumes that I have in my collection. Guess Seductive Red. Now, you guys have heard me gush over the Guess Seductive Noir scent over and over and over on my channel. Many of you have bought that because of me, and to this day I get comments saying that's one of your favorite scents. But I have to also put you guys onto Seductive Red. They're killing it with this line because every one of these has been hit after hit. This one is great for those of you that love the scent profile of Baccarat Rouge because that scent is heavy in here, but it's mixed with cherry, and a lot of it too, because you can constantly smell it. But this one is like a deep, sexy, seductive, perfumey type of cherry. This perfume has top notes of cherry, almond, and pink pepper, middle notes of cherry blossom, violet, and magnolia, and base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, and sandalwood. I feel like the notes in this are also equally as sexy and just very powerful notes. In combination with the cherry, you're gonna get this almondy, nutty sort of vibe with a little bit of spice coming from that pink pepper. But honestly, if that means nothing to you, just think of this as the DNA of Baccarat Rouge mixed in with the most seductive, intoxicating cherry notes. You have Guess Seductive Red. I mean, the original Baccarat Rouge already garners so many compliments as is. Just imagine you add cherry on top of that. You're gonna be unstoppable. And best of all, you don't have to spend $380. You can just spend $16.99 on this little fragrance and you will be the most powerful smelling person in any room. Next up, if you are a super fruity, fresh, somewhat sweet type of girl, you're gonna love this next one, and you're also gonna love the price point of this next one. This is actually a celebrity perfume. It is by Beyonce, and this one is called Heat Rush. This is the most mouth-watering, juicy bowl of fruit kind of fragrance. And one of those fruits obviously happens to be a juicy, sweet, fresh, realistic cherry scent. This is so good. It smells like you're laying by the beach and you're drinking a tropical beachy drink that has cherry in it. This also is accompanied by passion fruit and blood orange, and those two, when mixed with the cherry, make that cherry just so much more mouth-watering and juicy and sweet. I'm telling you, this is like a fresh bowl of tropical sweet fruits. This perfume has top notes of passion fruit, blood orange, and cherry, middle notes of mango blossom, orchid, and hibiscus, and base notes of amber, musk, and teakwood. So it's a fruity scent for the most part. Has a little bit of florals just to kind of amp up the perfuminess of this, because I feel like if it was just fruits, it would be a little bit body spray leaning, and I feel like those florals definitely save it from being too much of a body spray scent. And of course, the teakwood in the base gives it that woody, sexy sort of feel that works really well with all the fruits, and everything is just perfectly mixed in this scent. Oh, I can't get enough of this one. This is really good. This next cherry perfume may not look like much because it is literally this tiny little bottle. This is a 0.5 fluid ounce perfume, and that's how these come. Like, that's the standard size for these perfumes. And I really don't understand why they did that, because this scent is one of the best cherry perfumes ever. Take away any expensive cherry scent that's like $400. They have nothing on this little 0.5 fluid ounce perfume that you see right here. This is called Decadent Queen by Juicy Couture. There was a few of these that came out. The others were like fresh and just bored me, but this one is really good. And the cherry in here stands out like nothing else, and it's so long lasting. I think maybe they made this tiny because you don't need much, and yet it lasts forever. Just this spray that I just sprayed out will last me the entire day. And I feel like with this scent, the more it dries down, the more the cherry intensifies, and the whiffs that you get of this throughout the day, because it's one of those scents that you constantly get whiffs of throughout the day, it's gonna make you re-fall in love with this scent throughout the entire day as you're smelling it, because I feel like it just gets better and better. This has top notes of cherry, white cyclamen, pink pepper, middle notes of plum, honeysuckle, and pink peony, and base notes of vanilla bean, amber, and woodsy notes. The top three most prevalent notes in this perfume are pretty much an equal little combo of cherry and plum. Cherry definitely dominating over the plum, but I feel like the plum also adds it another level of sweetness and another level of depth. And then also the vanilla bean is also very, very prominent in here. So it's like a cherry, vanilla, plummy scent. I truly don't know why they didn't come out with this scent in a bigger size. Juicy Couture, if you are listening to this video, give us Decadent Queen in a full size because I'll be the first one to buy it. Next up, I actually have a dupe perfume. So this is Sinful by Okja, and this is actually a dupe for Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Now, before you throw pitchforks at me through the screen, hear me out because I know it's this running theme with Lost Cherry that they literally call that perfume Lost Cherry because the cherry in it is lost within like 2 seconds. And I kind of agree because I have smelled that in store and I don't think it's worth as high of a price point as it has. It's very unique, so I'll give it that. But number one, the cherry is not that long lasting in it, and number two, the scent itself overall is not that long lasting. That is a crazy priced perfume. I think it's like $600 for a full-size bottle. It's actually mind-blowing, the price point of that. I would never consider buying that scent ever, even if it was like an amazing perfume. $600? That's definitely doing too much. But I feel like Sinful, which this is supposed to be a dupe for Lost Cherry. This video is not sponsored by Okja, by the way. I have worked with them in the past, but I truly love this scent so much, and I find that it's one of the most long-lasting scents overall. But I actually feel like the cherry in here outperforms even the cherry that's in Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I actually feel like this cherry is prevalent throughout the whole scent, and it's strong and super, super sexy. It has the DNA of Lost Cherry, but I feel like it's exactly what the OG Lost Cherry should have been. This has top notes of cherry, cherry liqueur, bitter almond, middle notes of cherry syrup, rose jasmine, and base notes of sandalwood, vetiver, and cedarwood. I'm not sure of the exact notes in Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, but this one in here has 3 different types of cherry notes, starting off with actual cherry to cherry liqueur and then cherry syrup. They really made sure to intensify that cherry in here, and they really did, because I can highly smell the cherry, and this is a very long-lasting scent. So honestly, if you are a huge fan to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, but number one, you don't want to pay that price point, and number two, you actually want that cherry to perform, check out Sinful by Okja. I believe these scents are like 50 bucks, which is nothing in comparison to 600. Next up is one of my favorite little fairy perfumes. I call this my little whimsical, mystical, just otherworldly little scent, because every time I smell this, it reminds me of a little fairy. Even down to the packaging, there's something about this that gives me fairy vibes. This scent is so nostalgic to me. I grew up smelling this perfume. My cousin used to have this perfume, and then I think I had this, or maybe like a dupe of this at one point. And now that I have the real thing, I'm just so obsessed with Lita Lpia. I'm not gonna lie, I don't wear it nearly as much as I probably should, considering how much I love it. But I definitely should, because then every time I go and smell it, I'm like, this is truly one of the best scents I've ever smelled. And it is one of the best cherries you will ever smell. The cherry in here is blended to absolute perfection. You can smell it, but it doesn't really stick out necessarily. It's blended perfectly in this even, refined sort of mixture. This has top notes of star anise, violet, and ivy, middle notes of licorice, cherry, iris, orris root, and amaryllis, and base notes of vanilla, praline, tonka bean, white musk, and vetiver. I know that licorice is not everybody's cup of tea, definitely not to eat. I know people hate on licorice. I personally don't mind it, but I am also a huge fan of licorice in perfumes. I think they smell so good, and the licorice in here mixed with the cherry, this is one of the sexiest perfumes. My husband compliments this perfume every single time. He thinks it's one of the sexiest perfumes ever, and I would have to agree, because I also think that. If you too want to smell like a little woodland fairy, you need to get your hands on Lita Lpia. And last but not least, but sexiest and darkest of all, this is Jimmy Choo I Want Choo Forever. This scent, wear with caution. That's all I'm gonna tell you. The cherry in this one is a little bit more perfumified, I'm gonna say, than it is in some of these others where the cherry was very juicy and fruity for the most part, and I guess realistic for the most part. Whereas in this one, it's done in a very deep, sultry, mysterious, dark, and sexy way. It's not so much realistic as it is just absolutely hypnotizing. This perfume has top notes of bitter almond and rose, middle notes of cherry vetiver and jasmine, and base notes of vanilla, tonka bean, oak moss, and amber. This is like a sweet, sort of nutty-ish fragrance with this cherry liquor sort of scent. The cherry in here is done more so in this boozy sort of way, which just adds on to that super, super sexy vibe that this has. Like I said, guys, wear this one with caution. This is a man eater type scent. It's a man magnet. Wear this on a date night and you're gonna be complimented all night long. This is truly irresistible. And that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any recommendations for me as far as cherry scents, because I will forever be buying cherry perfumes. This is such a good note and I wish more houses would put out cherry perfumes that actually last. That is it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn post notifications on, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.